Nobody expected Bill Cosby to show up, let alone speak. The man who had been silent for years, shadowed by controversy, made a surprise appearance that turned a quiet, private funeral into a moment no one would forget. And when he spoke, what came out of his mouth moved the entire room to tears, including Malcolm Jamal Warner's family. It was a moment of sorrow, closure, and confusion all rolled into one. And what happened next left everyone stunned. The world was still reeling. From the news of Malcolm's passing, his death hit hard. Not just because he was a celebrity, but because he represented something more. For many, he was the definition of growth, grace, and Black excellence. As Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, he wasn't just a character on screen. He was family, a son, a brother, someone we all rooted for. So when word got out that he had died unexpectedly, people around the world were devastated. Malcolm had taken a break from the spotlight and was staying at a private home by the water, seeking solitude. A quiet retreat. That was the plan. One morning he went for a swim and never came back. When he didn't return, a close friend grew concerned and called for help. Dive teams eventually found him submerged. Authorities believe he had been in the water for several hours. No immediate foul play was suspected, but the full toxicology report was still pending. There was more mystery than answers. Adding to that mystery were a few texts Malcolm had sent in the days before his death. One message to a close friend read, "If I leave here tomorrow, just know I tried my best to heal." It was vague but heavy. Emotional, like a man carrying a burden the world didn't know about. Closest to him mentioned he'd been involved in a stressful legal matter, though details remain unclear, whether it was family-related, financial, or something darker. No one has been able to piece it all together. The funeral was held in a small, candle-lit chapel tucked away in the Hollywood Hills. It was meant to be a peaceful, private goodbye. No cameras, no headlines, just those who loved him gathered to say farewell. Photos of Malcolm from childhood to adulthood adorned the altar. His mother, heartbreak etched across her face, sat clutching her chest, held up by the support of gospel, hymns, and whispered prayers. But then quietly and unexpectedly, Bill Cosby walked in, frail and guided by aides. Cosby entered through the back, causing an immediate hush. Some looked away, others stared in disbelief. The man who once played Malcolm's on-screen father hadn't been seen publicly like this in years. When he reached the casket, he knelt and sobbed. He whispered something no one could hear. Then, with trembling hands, he placed a folded letter into Malcolm's hands. Some later claimed it included words like, "You were the only one who truly understood me, and I failed you." Not everyone welcomed Cosby's presence. A few guests reportedly felt his appearance was out of place. One even said, "This is Malcolm's day, not his." But no one made a scene. Respect for Malcolm overrode the tension. Cosby's presence may have been controversial, but it also reminded people of the complicated, long-standing relationship between the two men. A relationship that, for all its ups and downs, was never truly broken. And as Cosby exited, eyes red and full of tears, a strange stillness took over the chapel, as though everyone present knew they had just witnessed something deeply emotional, yet unresolved. And then the floodgates opened. Because what happened after the funeral made people question everything they thought they knew. Felicia Rashad, the actress who played Claire Huxtable and mother to Malcolm's Theo on the show, broke her silence just days later. Appearing on a quiet podcast, far from media glitz, she looked visibly shaken. Her voice cracked as she described a haunting final phone call she received from Malcolm, just a few weeks before his death. "He called me past midnight," she said, "and he sounded scared. He said, 'Mom, I don't feel safe. Think someone's watching me. If anything happens, promise me you'll speak up.'" Listeners were floored. Had Malcolm sensed danger? Why didn't he reach out to a sibling, a friend, or the police? Felicia explained that Malcolm had grown increasingly paranoid. He spoke about unfinished business and truths too dangerous to tell. He never mentioned names, but at one point he told her, "There's something I know that I wish I didn't. If I say it, it'll bring everything down. Not just careers, legacies." Felicia's voice quivered as she recalled his final words. "If I'm found dead, don't believe it was an accident. I'm not suicidal. Just tired of pretending everything's okay." These weren't just the ramblings of someone stressed or overwhelmed. These were the words of a man who felt hunted. After Felicia's revelation, things snowballed. Tempest Bledsoe, who played Vanessa Huxtable, spoke out next. During a live stream, she held back tears as she talked about the signs she now wished she hadn't ignored. "He started pulling away," she said. "He missed our reunion calls. He stopped answering texts. He told me I don't belong here anymore. This industry eats people." The most disturbing part, cryptic text he sent her just 10 days before his death: "Don't trust anyone, especially those closest to me." Then came Jeffrey Owens Elvin from the show. He shared that Malcolm had confided in him about a discovery. Something dark, something big. Malcolm reportedly found information that shattered everything we thought we knew about the industry and about our show. Malcolm hadn't revealed full details, but Jeffrey believed it was something so explosive that it could have made him a target. At this point, fans began connecting the dots. Malcolm wasn't just mourning something, he was afraid. Every co-star who spoke up mentioned some version of the same thing: fear, isolation, dread. Then rumors surfaced that Malcolm had been working on a secret docuseries, a passion project he hadn't told many people about. But when his digital files were checked after his death, nearly everything was gone, deleted, wiped clean. Only a single USB backup, which he'd mailed to a trusted friend, survived, and what that backup revealed changed everything. Malcolm had been producing a documentary titled "Behind the Laughs: What You Were Never Meant to Know." It wasn't a feel-good nostalgia trip. It was an expose. One that allegedly contained evidence of decades of misconduct, manipulation, and cover-ups in Hollywood, including allegations linked to people from The Cosby Show, legal files, audio recordings, confidential emails, even a settlement document involving a prominent cast member. Malcolm had reportedly become paranoid in the final weeks. He moved locations, carried multiple phones. He told friends he believed he was being followed and said, "If this drops, it'll destroy everything. But I can't carry it alone anymore." Then, just like that, he was gone, and the files deleted only hours before he died. Whether he wiped them in a panic or someone else did to silence him remains a terrifying question. But one thing is clear: Malcolm Jamal Warner died with a secret. One that someone didn't want told. And the people who loved him most, they're still trying to make sure the truth sees the light of day at the funeral. Cosby's emotional tribute wasn't just an old man mourning his TV son. It was layered, mysterious, maybe even remorseful. The words he spoke carried weight, as if he too knew more than he let on. Whether people believe his presence was appropriate or not, no one could deny the bond they shared. Malcolm Jamal Warner wasn't just an actor, he was a voice, a truth seeker. And while his death leaves behind sorrow, it also sparks questions about power, silence, and the cost of speaking up. Maybe that's the legacy he left behind. Not just a character we loved, but a man who tried against all odds to tell the truth.